Hello guys, this is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with my midday analysis. If you enjoy this analysis, please hit the like button below and hit the subscribe button below to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more analysis, webinars, and awesome Forex education videos. Before I start, I want to tell you how my analysis works. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I hold a live analysis session. In the analysis, I cover all the pairs I'm currently trading. This is usually 10 to 20 pairs, and I do multi-timeframe analysis on those pairs. Multi-timeframe analysis means that I look at every timeframe I have for each pair. I do not trade all of those timeframes though. I use them for analysis. The only timeframes I actually trade are the 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and daily. The reason I do this is because price action is fluid. Price is always moving. If you look at a single time frame, you are seeing a single snapshot of price, and that can be misleading. By looking at a lot of different time frames, you get more snapshots, which gives you a much clearer idea of what price is doing right now. This also ensures that I rarely miss a trade setup. I do my multi-time frame analysis 2 to 4 times per day, so every 4 to 8 hours. This ensures that I see almost every candle forming, which makes it hard to miss a setup. I only post my analysis to YouTube once per day though, as I cannot record every time I do my analysis. You should remember, I do not find trade setups every time I do analysis. Trade setups are not always there when you want them to be. If I do not find a trade setup in the midday analysis, I might find one in the next analysis I do later in the afternoon or the evening. Trade setups aren't always there when you want them, and just because I'm doing analysis, it doesn't mean I'm going to find a setup. Also, if I do find a setup, remember that these are just potential setups. Not every setup I find is actually going to turn into a trade. Many of these setups will never trigger, or they'll just be cancelled. Just because I say that I'm considering entering a setup, it doesn't mean that the setup will actually trigger. But when they do trigger, I enter them, and I post the updates to my blog, which is linked to below. Finally, you may notice that I sometimes fast forward through parts of this analysis. I do this when I cannot find any setups on the pairs that I'm looking at. It saves you watching 5 minutes of me running through charts and saying there's no setup here. So I'll just fast forward through those boring parts. Anyway, enjoy the analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 28th of September 2016, and the time is 11:21 a.m. here in the UK. You're looking at a GBPJPY daily chart. Let's get started with the analysis. So yesterday we were talking about GBPJPY taking a possible long here, and I was saying that I wanted to wait for the current candle to close, so I probably wouldn't be taking a long until the next day, which is today. And I said we'd probably discuss it today. And as you can see, I am now planning on entering the setup. It already came close to triggering my entry, although my entry on this chart is a touch low. Let's put it back. Yeah. That's where I want to enter. It's just a little bit higher than that. Well, no, that's my trigger. My actual entry will probably not be until, yeah, probably 7. But ideally, I'd want to retrace back down a little bit. But yeah, this is a pretty good setup because we can have a pretty clear run up. Wait, let's start back from the start because not everyone here is completely familiar with my trading strategy. So let me explain this setup. This is a reversal setup from support. So we have a nice strong preceding trend. A preceding trend is just basically a trend heading into a support area. We have a nice strong preceding trend heading into support. We have indecision, so price is now stuck on that support area. It's undecided. There's a struggle between buyers and sellers. Now, if buyers take control of price and start pushing price up, that'll be an indication to me that price is going to reverse and possibly head back up to this resistance area. Now, usually when I'm about to enter a trade, I look to the left for any signs of minor support resistance. You know, price are getting stuck or stalling. And the good thing is, if we look to the left here, there's not really that much. I mean, maybe there a little bit, but not even there that much. You know, this has a pretty clear run back up to here if it wants to go. So this is actually a pretty good setup, and I'm sure if we look at this on the 2-day, well, not. I thought that indecision candle would look better, so I guess I wasn't that sure. No, because this one is joining to, yeah, that's unfortunate. See what the 3-day looks like. Yeah. All right, anyway, that's not, the point is, I can't get these two candles to join together right now because it's joining to this current candle. These two are joining when I switch to the 2-day chart. But my point was, if you join these together in your head, all right? So like if you just look at this and you kind of put them together in your head, which is easier than you'd think, what's going to happen is the bodies of the candles are going to minus each other out. And the wicks are going to add on to each other. So you would end up with a candle that looks like this. Oh, wow. I'm so bad at drawing straight lines with this tool. You would end up with a candle that looks like that if you join these two together. Wick touch lower, like that, roughly. So that would be kind of like a more familiar reversal candle type that people are used to. Pen bars, you know, whatever you call them, spinning tops, I think. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with all the candle pattern names, but my point being, like, when you're looking at the daily chart or the 12-hour chart or whatever chart, you're not always going to get the perfect looking candles because candles are just a snapshot of price. Price is always moving, and candles are just a snapshot of what price was doing in that 24-hour period. But just because a candle doesn't look right, it doesn't mean that the price action there isn't telling you something. When you join them together in your head, you kind of get an idea of what price is actually doing. Now, generally speaking, the easiest way to do this is to just jump around timeframes until you kind of get a clear idea of what price is doing in that area. But in this case, we don't really have any timeframes to go to. We're at the daily. If we go to the 2-day, we don't actually get a very clear picture. If we go to a 3-day, we don't get a clear picture. The 12-hour, I guess, somewhat gives us a nice clear picture, but yeah. So if you join these candles together in your head, you kind of get you end up getting a pin bar, which Maria called it. Or Maria called it. Is it a spinning top? I'm honestly not familiar with like all the names of candle patterns because I never really studied the names of candle patterns. I just kind of learned, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. When I talk about candles, what I say is that you shouldn't look at candles as just patterns because they're not patterns. They're the story of price. Maybe it's an inverted hammer. But anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. When you join the candle together in your head, you get that more classic kind of reversal pattern that people are familiar with, people who have looked at, you know, those candle pattern charts. You get whatever it is, inverted hammer, spinning top, pin bar, that's what you get. So don't let candles fool you is my main point with this. Don't let the fact that these two candles don't look like the perfect indecision candle fool you, because when you join them together, they are the perfect indecision candle, and they do indicate possibly that if buyers start pushing up, that they might be taking control of price. They indicate weakness on the seller side at the support area, which is a strong sign for reversal. Particularly so in this case, because what is this low? Now, we talked about this yesterday, but let's just cover it again. What is this low? This low is the post-Brexit low. So when Brexit came out and shocked everyone, price just went bam. And then next week opens and it comes down to here. Everyone was saying the pound is going to drop down and down and down and it's going to lose so much value, but then it didn't. It just dropped down to there and it pulled back up. Then it came down again and people were saying again, oh, the pound is going to drop down, it's going to lose so much value. And then it said nope, and it came back up. So now it's going for that third attempt. So now everyone's thinking, what's going to happen this time? All the people that were saying it's going to drop down and down and down, they were wrong twice. Now they're afraid of being wrong again. So you're not really hearing much of that anymore. But now we're kind of like at a decision point for not only GBPJPY, GBPUSD is in a similar position right now, but that's already started reversing. That one wasn't entered. But we're at this break point where price could start just like tumbling down and making new lows, or it could just come back down to this level and potentially reverse. So if it starts reversing, if we get strong signs of buyers taking control of price, which would be probably at this point a new high beyond these two indecision candles here, that's where I'm planning to enter. Roughly the 131.29-ish would be the actual entry, and the trigger where I would be looking, where I would be considering actually jumping in would be around about 131.27, but I probably wouldn't get in until a few pips later. And like I said, it has a clear run up, so yeah, this looks like a pretty decent setup. Yeah, Digitalk, I completely agree. And you know what the case is with that? It's that I was blind to it and I didn't really see it until I started thinking about it. Just because I'm a profitable trader, it doesn't mean I know everything and I fully understand everything about trading. You know, a few years ago, I'd look at engulfing patterns and I would say, nah, I don't really like engulfing patterns. They're not really my thing. But now that I've started trading them and I've started to understand that they're just pretty much exactly what I was trading beforehand, they just look slightly different, but price is saying the exact same thing. Now I find them worth trading. And right now, at the time, I thought I knew everything there was to know about price action. And today, I think I know everything there is to know about price action. I think my understanding of price action is at a much higher level than it was 2 years ago. But I'm sure in 2 years, I'll probably say to myself, wow, I know a lot more about price action than I knew 2 years ago. I think with trading, you're kind of always learning. It doesn't matter how good you are, there's always something more to learn. If it's not about the actual charts, you're going to learn about yourself and your trading psychology, which is a hurdle that most people fall over at. But for me, the psychology side of things has never been difficult. That's pretty much, I would say, one of my biggest strengths, followed by price action. But right now I'm learning a lot about money management and risk management. That's always been my weakest of the three core trading skills. You know, I knew it at a sufficient level to be profitable, but now I'm getting better and better at it. And I'm also getting better at price action with time. And this is why I like the forum, and I like I like interacting with you guys, because I learn a lot from you guys. Things that we're 10 minutes in and we've only looked at one pair. All right, so I'm not going to get involved right now in a chat about trading and stuff like that. Let's just concentrate on the actual analysis. Let's go to GBPUSD. GBPUSD is it's already bouncing away, so it's already reversing from this area. But it's a bit late. If you were to enter a trade on GBPUSD, you'd probably already be in, but I really didn't like what was happening there, so let's just not look at that. AUD New Zealand. Now, we were looking at AUD New Zealand yesterday. It actually looked like a very strong setup. I mean, it had a nice trend line heading down. You know, overall, it looked like a pretty strong reversal setup. But in the end, it didn't really work out. AUD started shooting up. Now, I set my entry around about here, 104.74. My reasoning was, okay, so I'll be completely honest about this trade. Had I spotted this trade, had I not been lazy, now had I been looking at my charts on Monday, because a lot of the times I just don't look at my charts on Monday. I probably would have entered on this candle here when it broke this low. When it pushed sufficiently beyond this low, because it pushed about 7 pips beyond it, I probably would have entered there. But I hadn't really seen it. I wasn't paying that much attention. I didn't really look at my charts until, I don't know, what was it, 11 o'clock on Tuesday? So price had already dropped down and come back up. Then when we were looking at it, I was like, Okay, now at this point, this looks like indecision. So even though, you know, it's technically already triggered, right now we're seeing that sellers aren't in complete control of price. So I'm going to wait for sellers to take control. So I set my entry down here instead in yesterday's, no, I didn't do that in yesterday's analysis, but I was talking about trying to find a good entry on yesterday's analysis. And yeah, that ended up being the entry I picked, which didn't actually end up triggering. Yeah, Digitalk. Wait, why isn't your... Oh, right. It's not showing up because... Yeah, a few of the people in the advanced course, including Digitalk, in the forum, had already entered this trade, and this resulted in a failed trade. I kind of got lucky with this one in the sense that I was a bit lazy and I hadn't really looked at my charts, but I probably would have entered had I been paying attention to my charts. I'm pretty sure I would have entered. Oh well. EuroCAD. Yeah, this one. We were looking at this one yesterday too, but I skipped this one because we were looking at it on the daily, if you remember, and it pushed down a bit too quickly. Wait, was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. I wasn't really that into this trade anyway, to be honest. But it pushed down a bit too quick. Technically speaking, you could have entered on the 12 hour. Did anyone enter on the 12 hour here? It's not looking that bad on the 12 hour. No one's typing. All right. Well, if no one entered it, then there's no point discussing it. I was looking for it on the daily and it never really worked out on the daily. It pushed down too fast. So GBP AUD, what's that up to? Still pushing towards those lows. AUDUSD, what is that up to? Oh yeah, we saw this earlier before the analysis. We took a quick look at this. What is AUDUSD up to? Yeah, it's finally doing what... If you've been watching the analysis, we've been looking at this since last week, saying, oh, it's going to bounce off this resistance area. It's going to bounce off this resistance area, but it didn't quite do it. It kept it came up here and then it pulled back. And I was waiting for this to happen. I was waiting for that indecision candle to form on this resistance area because it's a strong resistance area. You know, price has bounced from this area twice already, and there have been two really big bounces. Now it's doing it again. All right, it also bounced here. It was a bit lower, but it also bounced there. So if you count all those, we've got 4 solid bounces from, even that one. We got 5 solid bounces from this area. It's a strong resistance area, is my point. And now we're getting indecision forming on it again. So last week it tried to break up and it fell back down, and now it's given another attempt, but this time it's on top of the resistance area. So that's going to give us a better stop loss, a better entry. I am going to be watching this one really closely today. I want to see how this this daily candle plays out. Let's look at it on the 12 hour real quick. Oh yeah, on the 12 hour it's got 2 indecision candles already. I'm probably going to wait for this one on the daily, to be honest. I want to see a solid daily. I want to see price stalling here for 24 hours at least. And when it stalls there, I want to see it start to head down. I'm not too sure as to the entry I would pick for this one. Mostly because if price closes exactly as it is now, so let's say this candle closes exactly as it is now. Putting an entry down here, you know, it doesn't really mean much. If sellers are able to push down and break that low, you know, it is a lower low. Sellers have pushed down, but come on, it's not really that much. I mean, what's this going to be? They will have had to push down 6 pips. to break that low. Not significant at all. So I'd probably set my entry a tad lower, but it would be hard to pick an entry for this one. I have to say, what I would want is I want sellers to prove that they've taken control of price. That is obviously what I always want to enter a short trade. Obviously, we're not going to know anything until this candle itself closes. It's kind of pointless deciding on an entry and a stop loss before the candle closes, because we're going to base our entry and stop loss on the highs and lows of this candle, or if they don't break higher than this candle, we're going to place our stop on the high of that candle. So I'm going to wait till this one closes, but do keep a very close eye on AUDUSD. It's looking quite good. It looks like it might have a solid reversal from this area, so keep an eye on it. GBPJPY still. I hope that doesn't trigger. I haven't set up my entry order. I removed it this morning because I was watching it, and you know, if I'm there to look over the trade, then there's no point having an automatic entry. So I hope this doesn't trigger right now. Yeah, okay, so that pretty much covers everything. Yep, everything. Two setups today. We have AUDUSD that might potentially, depending on the close of this candle, I might be looking to enter a short. This is probably not going to happen until tomorrow's analysis, but it could always trigger, you know, sometime earlier than tomorrow's analysis. So please do keep an eye on AUDUSD. Keep an eye on this candle when it closes, see how it closes, and you know, if everything looks good, you might want to consider planning an entry and a stop loss based on that after it closes. GBPJPY looks like it's heading up, so I kind of want to end this webinar so I can go and monitor this potential setup. Possibly make it into a live trade video, because I haven't done one of those in a little while. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, do keep an eye on AUDUSD and GBPJPY, but I think that pretty much is everything for right now. So I'll see you guys for tomorrow's webinar. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up below. If you have any questions regarding this video, then leave a comment below and I'll respond to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as I upload my videos. My Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and happy trading.